So my name is Guy Lane. I'm an environmental scientist, and I've been professionally involved in climate change for 20 years, and it sort of makes me something of a veteran around these places. Back in when I started doing my climate work, I was working with a Commonwealth government program. The best advice was that climate change was this slow-moving beast that was going to cause all sorts of mayhem towards the end of the century. The physics of climate change has been very, very well understood for over 100 years, but what's been less understood is the way that ecosystems react to the heat. And what we're now seeing, of course, is that ecosystems are reacting very poorly to the heat. Ecosystems are burning up, ecosystems are collapsing, the coral reef, the barrier reefs around the world are dying, and so all of this is happening much, much faster than had been anticipated through the sort of modelling, because they didn't properly accommodate ecosystems. Amongst my various things that I do, I've got a YouTube channel where I interview climate scientists, and I interviewed a guy recently called Professor Will Steffen. And Will Steffen's speciality is in Earth system science, and that covers a whole bunch of stuff, including climate. And he described to me a scenario whereby if we heat the planet up beyond a certain point, we kick off what he refers to as a cascade of tipping points, where positive feedbacks occur in the climate system, which then drives the temperatures up higher and higher. The theory is, and this is looking back over what's called paleoclimatology, which is where you understand the climates that have occurred on the Earth over the last several billion years, is that they see these thresholds in the climate system, and somewhere between 1 and 2 degrees Celsius, the climate system flips into what they call the hothouse. And basically, we're starting to see the flip happening now. This is the cascade of feedback loops. So there's the Arctic ice melts, there's more sunshine gets into the water that heats the water and makes the ice melt faster. As it gets hotter, you get more wildfires, the forests burn, you put more carbon. It's a positive feedback loop. So these things have been seen and been feared, they've been understood, and they're now starting to happen. And so we're out of time. We're out of time. And so in the 20 years that I've been involved in the climate game, I've been wondering what the hell could possibly come in and actually fix the problem. And the Extinction Rebellion is the best thing that I've seen. In fact, it's the only thing that I've seen. I went to London in October to see what I refer to as the original recipe, to see how the Poms do it. It was invented over there. The guy that was the architect was an English guy, or Welsh or something anyway. But And there's a different tone over there. And I've got one little message that I just want to leave behind, is that we've got so much against us. We have got the indifference of most of the population. We have got the corporate media. We have got the government. We've got everything going against us. We can't afford to make mistakes. Okay? We've got to make this movement inclusive and attractive, and we've got to bring as many people into it as we can, and we've got to raise our numbers. And if you're to follow the logic of the Extinction Rebellion, then what we need to do is we need to gridlock the capital. We need to gridlock the capital. And in order to do that, we're going to need tens of thousands of people. We're going to need to be organised, we're going to need to be disciplined, and we're going to need to be attractive to the public. Okay, just to... Yeah, and what about China? That's a good question, and I get that a lot. What about China? China's got a 30% of the carbon emissions of the planet. We've only got 3%. Well, I tell you what, we've all got to stop it, right? We've all got to stop it. It's as simple as that. We've got to get off the fossil fuels by the mid-century, and during that time we've got to put 1 trillion tons of carbon out of the atmosphere. Yes. It requires a total reworking of the global economy. Yes. A total reworking of the global economy. It is a massive, massive task. And if we slide into the hothouse, that is the extinction of most life on Earth, not just the humans. We're amongst the first to go. We will rerun the permit extinction if we don't get this right. So we can't afford to make mistakes. We've got to grow rapidly. We've got to be attractive to the public because we don't need them all. We just need them not to oppose us, and we need a small proportion of them to join us.
Yes.
Keep rebelling.
Extinction! Rebellion! Rebellion!
Extinction!
Rebellion!
Extinction!
Rebellion!
Extinction!
Rebellion!
Extinction!
Rebellion!
Oh, sorry. Just one more little thing. Just want to acknowledge the kids' climate strike. They got thrown out of the COP. The COP is no longer fit for purpose. The biggest gathering of world leaders to talk about climate change is no longer fit for purpose. The young kids got kicked out while the COP fossil fuel lobbyists got to stay inside the building. Okay. So just one more little thing. So 2 o'clock, 1 Williams. I came back from the UK very, very clear on a couple of things. Firstly, the problem is the government. That's where we need to be taking the disruption. Okay? Disrupt the public for tactical reasons, strategic reasons, but the enemy in this fight is the government's inaction on climate change. We need to keep folks. 1 William, in my view, is the epicenter of the Queensland Extinction Rebellion. We need to be there every day. 2 o'clock today. Thanks.
Does anyone else want to just say anything or speak from the heart about their experience with, the fires or anything?